Hi, my name is Jayla, and today I'm going to be doing a book tag, which I haven't done in a hot minute, so let's talk about me for once. Why did I say that? Whoa. I was kindly tagged to do this tag by Christine and Mo from the Roomies Digest, but this is originally Catherine Zofri's tag. I have a list of 10 prompts here, which I will get into very shortly, and it is supposed to be recommending a book based off of those 10 prompts. So let's get into it. The first prompt is to recommend a book that makes you smile, and for this one I went with The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I read this book back in like 2016 or something like that, so just imagine, let me set the scene. Young Jayla, you know, she's black, she's young. That's all you need to know, that's the scene. No, what else was I gonna say with that? There was nothing. I was sitting in a kitchen. I was actually on a bus. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Point is, I read this when I was really young, and this book is about a girl named Natasha who, her family's about to get deported. Wow, my smile just went away immediately. Her family's Jamaican and they're about to get deported, and then there's another boy named Daniel. The big thing for him that day is that he's going for a super important interview with some Yale alum who is going to like see if he's worthy of getting into Yale, you know what I mean? So they just have a lot of pressure on them. One's trying to stop her family from leaving the country, the other one's got their family breathing down their neck telling them like, yo, you gotta do this and this, and you have to be this way, and you have to dress this way, and you have to do this or you're gonna disappoint the family. And so they both kind of shook off their responsibilities for the day and just hang out with each other. This book was really sweet and romantic and funny and smart, and that's why I really like it so much. But I also really like it because it follows a Korean teen and a Jamaican teen falling in love, which is just like not a relationship you see very often, but also they are not ever the main love interest. So the existence of this book always puts a smile on my face because like everything about it, all of the layers, means so much to me. Next, I give a book that I don't talk about a lot, and you might not have heard of this one before, and I never talk about it on my channel, but I'm recommending that. No, I'm kidding. I'm not, like, that's my rule for today, is that I'm not going to bring up the Hunger Games. I mean, I already broke it, but I'm not bringing up the Hunger Games at all, as far as these prompts go, so no. For this answer, a book that I don't talk about a lot but that I really, really enjoyed was Severance by Ling Ma. I read it maybe November of 2020 or something like that, and I think that was the first and last time that I ever talked about it on my channel. But I really, really enjoyed this book. It's about this woman named Candace Chen who is essentially living through the end of the world. Like, a pandemic has happened that has caused people to die off and like forget who they are and stuff like that. And she just goes to work like it's a normal day because that's all she knows, and she's got a job to do. In between that, you get a lot of discussions about immigration, millennial work culture, race, family, coming of age, stuff like that. So I just really, really love how quirky of a story this is. I hated the ending though. I will warn you about that, even though I want you to read this book. Did not like the ending. But as far as the discussions that were had in this really wacky premise, like, this book is so unique and interesting, and more people should read it. Next is a book that you talk about all the time. So I didn't want to choose Black Sun for this, but gosh dang it, I'm choosing Black Sun for this because I do talk about it all the time. I'm basically known as the Black Sun girl. I wanted to do something a little different for some of these answers, and trying to make sure that I chose books that I don't actually bring onto my channel that much, but the prompt calls for me to bring a book that comes onto my channel a lot, and that's Black Sun. I talk about this a lot. Favorite fantasy of well, what have I not told you? Favorite fantasy of 2020? You know, it's got lots of political intrigue, fantastic characters, in an amazing world / magic system that you should check out. There's nothing else to say. I said it all, you know? Give a book that people are either going to love or hate. And for this one, I chose The Three-Body Problem by Cixin Liu. I think that this book is fantastic. Obama thinks this book is fantastic. I believe he called it wildly imaginative, which it is. I really, really enjoyed it when I read it in 2020, but I was so confused, completely lost. Most of this science stuff, right over the head. I don't know, couldn't tell you. Gave it my best effort to follow, and then eventually just was like, nope, I can't. I'm just gonna go with it. No thoughts, just vibes. But I think for some people, they'll be really annoyed by how scientific and jargony this is. Maybe if they're in physics, they will be like, oh my god, this is the best thing I've ever read. Oh my god, like, I love this. I love that they're explaining it all to me. But some people who aren't into that might be annoyed that this goes into so much detail about the science of how things work. It's definitely bogged down in language, and I think that's going to be like a miss for a lot of people, but I think this book hits. The story is so good, and you should definitely read it. Give a book for someone who needs to get in their feels. And I didn't know what they meant by this one. Like, what kind of feels are we talking about? But I went with The Last Story of Mina Lee by Nancy Ju Kim, because this is the probably last book that I teared up reading. Like, it's not a book that I full on cried during, but it's been so hard for me to like feel any sort of emotion while reading books. And I think this was the one that finally made me be like, woo, mothers, man, mothers, am I right? This is about a girl named Margot who finds out very abruptly that her mother has passed away, like when she goes to visit and sees her literally dead on the floor, like was not expecting this at all. And so she goes on this mission to figure out what happened to her, and she realizes as she's going into this investigation, she doesn't know her mom at all, and she never tried to know her mom, and that's the part that really gets me. It's like, oh my god, like, I'm not saying that I ran to my mom and was like, I need you to tell me your entire life story. Like, my mom tells me things. She tells us a lot about her life, sometimes so much about her life. But I do feel like there's always something that I should be asking more questions about, and I don't really know her. Mina Lee, she doesn't tell her daughter almost anything about herself, and her daughter didn't see her as enough of a human being, not to be mean to Margot, but she didn't think about how Mina was a person and had her own history, and then she only started thinking about it when it was too late, and that for me is like gut-wrenching. And so this book is about that. It's about a lot of things, but it's about that, and it's about like the lengths that moms will go to take care of their family, immigrants. It's just, I love a good mother story, and this was definitely a good mother story. Number 6 is Give a Book with Immaculate Vibes, and for this one we're going with The Raven Boys. It's just a vibe. Like, the girls that get it, get it. It's just magic and adventures and fun and found family and real family that's really great too. And it's just a good book, and it's really warm, and it makes you appreciate the people you have around you, and it's all vibes. Number 7, give a book to someone who likes to be surprised. I'll surprise you with some titties. Well, titty, sorry, and titty and a baby. But this is Saga, or like this is the bind-up of the first 3 books, but this is Saga, and I think that this book slash story slash entire saga, literally the entire series, is full of so many twists and turns, and it's just so, not all of them good, by the way. Like, there's some pain in these books, so you gotta be prepared to let go of some characters. Oh my god. So yeah, this is one of my favorite graphic novel stories, and it's a sci-fi science space opera adventure in which these 2 parents give birth to this adorable little creature named Hazel. Yeah, that's her name. And they're like aliens or whatever. But anyways, there's this giant war going on, and the parents are supposed to be on opposite sides of this war, but they end up falling in love and having a baby that's definitely not meant to be. And if people find out of this baby, they're gonna be like, whoa, war's kind of dumb, we don't need to do this. And the governments don't want war to not be going on, you know? So they're trying to hunt down this family and get rid of all of them. But the family is resilient and amazing and so sweet, and they are just, you know, fighting for themselves. They're fighting to be together, and it's such a good story, full of so many painful, heartwarming, precious, hilarious twists and turns. So if you like surprises, you're gonna love Saga. Number 8 is Give a Book for Someone Who Needs a Little Love, and for this one I chose Fangs. This is another little graphic novel that just follows a couple, a werewolf and a vampire, and it follows them like meeting each other and then dating throughout the months, years, whatever. And it's just so cute. Like, that's it. It's just, it follows love, and it's just a cute little slice of life, bunch of vignettes into this couple's relationship and how different but also very similar and sweet and loving and kind. I don't want to get into it. This was in my top books of 2021 though, and I definitely want you to experience it, because if I can't experience real love. Give a book that's an old favorite. For me, an old favorite was Gone by Michael Grant. I was obsessed with these books as a teenager. I still have all of them, and they are very beat up, but you know. This is about a California town where all of the adults and everyone over the age of 15 disappears one day, and then all of the kids are left to take care of themselves in this little settlement that they've created. And it gets dark, it gets scary, it gets really, really bad at times, but like also the characters are so fun and hilarious and sweet, and some of them are just straight up evil, so we're not talking about those characters, but a lot of the characters. I really love this book, and the characters and also the diversity in this book was top notch. Obviously we still have a white lead as our main character and his like white girlfriend and stuff, but we had amazing supporting characters in this book that were Black and Hispanic, and I just loved seeing those characters. Those were my highlights for this story. And finally, the last prompt is to give a book that you think everyone should read. And I said I wasn't gonna do this, you guys. What do you gotta do? I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Like, if you haven't read The Hunger Games, and I know some of you haven't read The Hunger Games, you need to read The Hunger Games. Everyone should read these books. It is literally essential reading. They just make me so happy. Like, these books are so good, and I don't know how you can go your whole life without having read them, because I feel like there would be a hole in my life if I hadn't read these books. So I'm not going to tell you what they're about because you should know what they're about by now, but this is definitely a book that I think everyone should read. It's just had such a huge impact on my life that I can't imagine anyone that I care about not reading it, and I care about you, so take the book. So those are all the books that I'm recommending to you all. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to tag Life Worth Reading, I'm going to tag Dana Days, Mo from Mo Reads It, Love Sam, can't forget about Sam, and that other Nigerian girl. I want to see you all do this tag. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment down below, like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. You can also follow me on Instagram and be my friend on Goodreads at the links below. And that's it. I'm done talking. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in another video soon. Goodbye.